Fearless Gamers, Matt here for Fearless Games, and today I'm doing another Vets How-To. This time I'm going to be talking about basing your models. Now, when it all comes down to it, once the model's all painted up and nice, like, say, this guy right here, it's pretty much done and finished and you can walk away from it. But me personally, I feel that it's not done, because the stand has not been painted at all. And at that point, you know, where is he? Is he on a field? Is he at home? Where is this model? Or is it, in a sense, it just looks like an action figure at this point. I find that that basing the model is just as important as painting the miniature itself. And of course, there are some quick, for lack of a better term, easy ways out of this. You could do like I did with my Mechanicum, just draw lines. See, he's on a street now. He's in a 3-lane street that's ridiculously small. Stuff like that. You know, I put a little bit of, you know, flock in places to make it look, you know, like rubble and such. You could go with something like that. Or you could go one step further. You could do really go into modeling the stand. You could go with textured paint, like the stuff James Workshop produces. There are a bunch of other companies that do make textured paint as well. Real simple, easy to do, easy cleanup, easy start, easy finish, and after that you don't need to do anything if you don't want to. I like to, and they're great with if you want to combo stuff, like if you don't want the mud to look the same as the grass, you can do mud and texture paint and then get flock or static grass to do the grass part, or gravel or something. That way the mud sticks out and you go, oh, that's mud, that's something else. Again, all personal preference. I prefer modeling flock and gravel and foliage sponge and all that kind of stuff. So there's a bunch of different products out there, like Woodland Scenics makes a lot of terrain pieces like this. They're pretty much a train hobby store for train sceneries, but they're great for diorama kits, and it's cheap comparatively. Like right here, this is $8. I bought this for about $7.22. This I bought, well, let's see. Yes, practically like a year or two after I started Warhammer 40k. And that's how much I've used up. And I've used this to base a lot of models. I used it to do all my War Machine, did it to do all my Eldar, my Space Marines, and it's gone through a lot, and very little has been used. This stuff will last you. You, like, buy one of these, this will most likely do your entire army, and then some. You could probably get a whole Apocalypse Force with one of these things. Or you could go a different direction and go with the Gale Force 9 stuff. Gale Force 9, in a sense, kind of makes more hobby mini model stand flock decorations. It does come in smaller jars. This stuff can be slightly pricey, but not too bad. This was a kit that they sold, the Summer Pastures kit, which was $14.99. And I think the individual cups are like probably $7, $8, something like that. And like they do sell them in individual packets, so you can mix and match to make your own custom terrain if you don't like some of the packs that they use. Or there's probably a bunch of other different trade and hobby stuff out there that can also work as well. And at that point, it's, you know, what your personal preference and what you can afford. You can also use kitty litter. I have heard of people using crushed walnuts for like gravel type stuff. Only thing I would recommend staying away from is going outside and grabbing like dirt and grass and stuff. Because, yeah, real simple, real easy. If it's not like sterilized completely, those bottles will be covered in bugs. And that is not fun, because those bugs get into the house, and then your house is covered in bugs, because you decided to go out and grab the sand from the sand truck machines when they were plowing down sand to get the roads usable for when snow came. So for this video, we are going to be using the Summer Pastures kit from Gale Force 9, and we're going to be painting up a flight stand for my Dark Talon. Now, this is a process that I use across the board. Use it for War Machine when I used to do that, and I'll use it again if I get into War Machine. If we get into the Dystopian Wars game, when Street Fight comes out, going to be using that kind of stuff. This is the same process I would use regardless of the hobby game. We will be using the flight stand thing because it's very big, so it'll be easier for me to show you what I'm doing without blocking what I'm doing. And I am going to be skipping over the very first step. We'll be talking about it slightly, but it's very simple and I don't really think I need to show it for this video because it's really easy and basically it's rudimentary. I don't think that I need to sit there and show it to you, and I want to skip into the more advanced part of the technique. So, without further ado, let's go on and see how the vet bases his models. So the first thing we do is prep the stand. Using the kit that was mentioned in the beginning, we first cover the whole thing in Elmer's glue, and then cover 85% of the stand in medium grit. Then, after shaking off the loose grains, cover the rest of it in the fine grit to fill in all the holes. Once the glue is completely dry, I seal the base. I did this by taking my glue and dipping my brush right into the bottle. I then placed it in water. I then take the brush and brush it along the side of the cup. I do this until I see the glue-water mixture flowing down the side of the cup. That shows that the mixture is more water than glue. This is pretty much a use-your-best-judgment situation, but you definitely want this to be as watery as possible. We then cover the whole stand with the glue. Don't worry if parts of the grit come off. This is just the old hobby fates telling you that that spot will look great with some extra decorative details later. Once you have the whole thing covered, you should have a stand that kinda looks like cereal mixed with milk. We are now ready to move on to the next step. The stand's grit will be slightly darker once the whole thing dries, but you'll be happy to know that that grit isn't going anywhere. And then we go on and place the glue all over parts of the stand that we want the grass to go. Simply take your brush filled with glue and draw out the areas you want to place the grass. Once the glue is applied, just take your static grass and sprinkle it all over the glue. We then shake off the extra and lightly press the grass down to ensure that it sticks to the glue. Once we've given the grass some time to dry, we're ready to apply some foliage. We first take our glue and place small dabs where we want the foliage to go. We then break small pieces off the foliage and place it on the glue, making sure to press it down because this stuff is very light, and if the pressure is not applied, it will either be glued on very lightly or not at all and end up falling off the stand later. Once the glue is dry, you are done. You now have a fully decorative stand. At this point, it's up to you to add your own small personal touches. This could be done with leftover models from other armies to kind of show a battle sequence going on with your army, rocks or debris that give your bases more character, skulls. The possibilities are endless, and it will allow you to craft not only a nice looking stand, but a great display piece when the model is not in use. And so, in the end, like I said, you're left with this really beautiful looking stand that tells a story, and it completes the picture. In essence, this also gives you like a help guide for what kind of display board you can build yourself, so you can make it mimic what it is, so when the models are all sitting there, it all blends in, and it looks like now that's someone who took 110% to make his army all match and themed. It's a really nice display, and it just is a beautiful, just that nice extra bit of showmanship that really makes your model stand out from the average person who just goes, done. And if you have any questions, if you want me to go into any more techniques with basing or stuff like that, I will be more than happy to make videos. Just leave comments. Just be granted, if it's something I'm not too familiar with, it may take me a while to figure out how I would do it, and then I'll make a video on that. So that is all for right now. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed, like us on Facebook so you can keep tabs on what's going on with the Fearless as it happens. And that is all for right now. So until next time, Fearless Gamers, take care.